you do not need to go to the pump often. And the biggest problem with conventional pumps which we have seen is, in the night, if there is 2 or 3 inches of rain, all that water will go to the bottom, and because the bottom has the smallest volume, the water level rise in the bottom can be 2 or 3 meters. In the morning, the operator may see the entire pumping machinery is drowned, and once that machinery, which is not meant to be submersible, is drowned, that is a catastrophic breakdown. It will take at least 10-15 days to get it working, but whether that will work really as good as a new pump is a question mark. In our place, so what the people do is, they keep on shifting the pump every now and then. If they feel there is a rain, they will try to pull the pump up. But you cannot pull the pump too far away from conventional pump, too far away from water, otherwise it will lose the suction and there will be no watering. So it is continuously trying to stay near to the water, away from the water. In our case, nothing doing. Because it's a submersible technology, you just immerse it at the bottommost part of the water. Next. In blasting, there are sharp debris, high velocity, high momentum debris which just fly everywhere. With our case, this causes minimum problem because the pump is kept below the water. So we have high flow versions and we have high head versions. Our high flow versions will go as high as 5,000, 6,000 IGPM, and our high head versions will go as high as 400 meters head, single pump. The motor is a regular induction motor. The only difference is it is IP68 sealed. Not even moisture can penetrate the motor. The motor insulation is a powerhouse insulation. Because the motor itself is underwater, it is naturally earthed. It's a huge benefit. In a conventional pump and a motor, the motor is kept above the water level. The operator has to go and touch the motor. If the earthing system has not been connected properly, then sometimes the operator can become an earth path between the motor and the ground. In our case, because the motor itself is underwater and you do not touch the motor when it is operating, it's naturally earth. There is no risk of operator getting even a light shock. Next. Most importantly, where we say that our pumps have a 15 years bearing life. We put it in black and white, zero cost of bearings to be purchased at your end. Because and how we can do it, it's not just the design life. With conventional pump, corrosion is a bigger problem than the bearing fatigue life. In our case, the fatigue life is also 15 years, and because of mechanical seal, there is zero moisture condensing or causing corrosion to the bearings. So we guarantee a 15 years life for the bearings. You just need to re-grease them, that's all. You just need to change the mechanical seals once in maybe 7.5 years. Next. We have super premium greases. With conventional pump, the greasing frequency can be anywhere between 1,000 hours or something like that. Now every 1,000 hours, if the mine operator has to go down to the bottom of the mine to re-grease the pumps, it's a tedious thing, whether it really happens or not. In our cases, our re-greasing intervals are as long as 75,000 hours for LT pumps, 45,000 hours for HT pumps, and 30,000 for the largest 1200 kilowatt pumps. Now that's a huge pad. So we can say you can keep our pumps running for 6 months, years, 1.5 years without a stop. That's the biggest strength we have. Next. These are the materials of casting. Despite what conventional tenders may write, I have seen many times for 200 meter head people will specify a cast iron pump casing. Now we used to study in engineering that cast iron is a brittle material. If a 200 meter head pump, all of a sudden there is a power outage, and if the non-return valve does not work, there will be a explosive burst within the pump casing because the pump casing is a high pressure. So in our case, there is going to be we always have ductile iron or cast steel casings. We never give cast iron pump casings by default. Next. Our pumps are built with less number of stages and thicker shafts. That is our strength. Our spine, the pump shaft is the spine on which the entire pump is standing. It is built with a very robust system. Next. Always stainless steel shaft, always, including the motor. Next. Premium inbuilt system because the pump and the motor are integrated as a single system. Next. LT motor, HT motor options, any voltage level you want. And to withstand the high temperature which we encounter in mines, our motors are built with not 25-degree thermal reserve margin, they are built with 50-degree thermal reserve margin. Hence we can give you an unconditional 30-month warranty, and unless your system is really bad, motor is not going to have a burnout. Next. Next. These are the ranges of our pumps. Next. 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 Most importantly, no need, no fear of flooding damage to the pumping machinery. Next. Next. In this photo, you can see two types of pumps. On the right hand side is a conventional horizontal pump, which even though is mounted on a pontoon, is not kept too far away from the shore. On the left, you are seeing our pump mounted on a pontoon that has been kept nearly to the face of the cliff. Both pumps are mounted on pontoons, but with our pumps, because the operator is not required to go to the pump, they have deployed the pump and the pontoon to the deepest point, which is furthest away from the shore. That is the strength of our technology, that even with the worst water level variation, that pump will still keep on working. Conventional pump you will have to shift it further, and you cannot force the operator to go beyond a certain depth, because then he will have to swim to reach that pump very frequently for operation and maintenance. Right? Next. 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 Blasting, as I said, because the pump itself is underwater, the damage that occurs at the time of blasting is also minimized. Water absorbs most of the momentum. Next. Now, fast. Scalable head technology. When I say my pump is designed for 15 years of life, just 1 minute please. Today your head may be 100 meters. After 15 years we'll go to 200 meters. If you take a pump of 100 meter head today, what will you do when the mine goes deeper? At the same time, if you buy a pump of 200 meter head today, in today's day and age, you are wasting energy because you don't require that head. Next, with our scalable head technology, we can size the pump and the motor to be modular to the final ultimate head and use it at today's head also. So you don't waste energy today, and your machinery does not become obsolete after a few years when you keep on excavating deeper and deeper. It's a standard feature with our pumps. Scalable head technology. Next. 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 And as I said, our efficiencies are more or less similar to conventional pumps and motors, but because of elimination of many ancillaries like couplings and suction valves and vacuum pumps, our wire to water efficiency may be slightly better, but what is really best is our plant load factor. Your output per month. Next. Since we are slightly out of time, but this is a cost sheet which you can run. Our cost of spare parts is nearly zero. Maybe for 7.5 years for the first spare part cost. Next, our cost of grease, cost of oil is very low, and our manpower cost is also extremely low because you do not require frequent maintenance. In private sector, this is a cost saving element which you can really use for your technology. The amount of manpower that is required for operation and maintenance of our pump can be as low as 1/4 with what you are doing with a conventional pump. Anyone from you from this region, just nearby, you can go to Triveni Sainik. They operate a mine just nearby this area, and you can see those pumps operational over there for your own self, one-to-one operation. Next. So what we say is, with our pumps, your plant load factor means installed capacity of pumps versus actual dewatered capacity. If you see in our pumps, because of lesser operation and maintenance and lesser downtime, with our pumps, the plant load factor is going to be very high. At least it can be say 25% higher than with a conventional pump. Next. So our plant load factor is typically 0.7 to 0.75. And next. With sorry, that was the conventional pump, and with our pump it is very high. So with that we can summarize. We help you increase your plant load factor. Any questions from your side, please?
Have you any installation in underground mines?
Underground mines, no, as of now, because we are under the process of getting the FLB certification first. As such, submersible pumps don't require FLB certification, but to be on the safer side, once we get the certifications, then we'll come back to you.
How do you achieve a scalable head?
Pass it.
Have you done cost comparison of the initial cost?
हाँ yes sir, yeah. पहला एक मिनट हाँ पास हाँ बाजू पास हाँ okay. See, this is a can you see over here? Say if I have a 4-stage pump, then the head which is generated is 350 meters, and the power which is consumed is 1025 kilowatts. So my motor is sized accordingly from day one. Pump set is sized for 4 stages. In the initial years, you simply remove 2 stages from it. You remove 2 impellers and we'll give you a blind stage. Means it's a blind stage, it does not consume power, it does not generate head. So the same pump can operate right from 350 meter to 175 meter, and in the process, the power consumption will drop down from 1025 kilowatt to just 525 kilowatt. You just remove the stages and do it. But this can be done with a conventional pump also, but it requires a lot of skill because it's a very slender machine. Our machine is very robust. You do not require to decouple the pump at that time. You can do it. So the point. Now your question was capital cost. See, this is a comparison. Our capital cost of pumping machinery is 19% higher than a conventional pump. Right? This is one case which did for them. Next. Then we talk about the energy. Our cost of energy is 2 to 3% lower than the conventional pump, for the simple reason our suction valve, foot valve, strainer, all those things are not required in our case. So the losses which happen in that thing are not required. There is no coupling between the pump and the motor, so energy cost is lower. Next, most importantly, the cost of spare parts and the cost of oil consumables. If you just add those things, what we have done is conventional pump, the frequency of maintenance, oil consumables, submerged pump, the frequency of oil and consumables. Next. So, if you say the total capital plus operational cost, that is spare parts, capital, consumables, oil, if you say, then it drops down drastically to just 32%. We'll give you this entire study for you. You can just peruse it at your level. And these are the figures which have not been contested by a single of my end user. Any questions, sir?
What is the maximum specific gravity that the pump can handle?
Specific gravity, see, typically we say 5 to 7% solids by volume. And coal is not a very dense material, but if you go by chromite, it is going to be very high. Chromite is very dense. Now, let me ask you a question, whether you want to de-water or remove solids, because if you want to remove solids, we have other technology of pumps which we call as the dredging series of pumps. The dredging series of pumps are meant to remove settled solids, not the water. In that technology, you can go up to 40% of solids by volume and generally 1.8 specific gravity, but that will require a very large motor. So my question is, if you want to transport solids or you want to remove water wherein solids are not separatable. These are two separate issues. Right? Yes, sir.
Technology for pumping sludge in underground.
Yes.
Pumping sludge.
वर्धमान से हाँ तो आम कर बिहान आम कर सर नमस्ते
Sir, please have a look at this. This is a coal washery. This is the liquid in the coal washery, and the two handles you see over here, they are the lifting handles of our pumps. So our pump is generally 1 meter below this point. This is a coal washery. The pumping is going on at this particular moment, right? You see there is the approach bay. This is the coal washery pit, and look at the stone. The person is throwing a stone into this coal washery liquid. So this is the worst example of sludge. But again, the customer has been very clear with us that we are using this to remove sludge. So when we size the motor, we have to size the motor with 1.8 specific gravity. Otherwise the motor pump to chalega, but motor overload hoke chal jayega. So we can do that. So we will be very specific. आपका exact application क्या है, उसके हिसाब से will size a solution for you.
So asking for washery point of view. Cyclone feed pump.
ठीक है.
Whether it is applicable for.
Yes, very much. We have applications where our pumps are used to dredge sea sand from ports. Now that's a very abrasive application. Coal dust is not so abrasive in nature. Sea sand is much more abrasive in nature. So you give us an application and we'll definitely be happy to work out a solution for you.
What is the minimum supply time?
Minimum?
Supply time?
Generally 3 months. If it's a standard product, if you have something in stock, 15 days.
Customized.
Customized for 3 months, sir.
Because we have ordered 2 pumps to
I know, sir, I know.
These are indigenous technology. Components.
Let me just say it's a plagiarization of multiple technologies from the Western and the Japanese world. It's a plagiarization, I am very honest. But we have made sure, because we know this is India. यहाँ nameplate पे क्या लिखा है और practice में क्या होता है. There's a huge difference between those people. So quite a few technologies, just the greases which we use. In India, everyone uses a mineral oil based grease. The life of a mineral oil based grease is 1,000 hours. We use polyurea, polyalpha olefin synthetic greases. That life is 1 lakh hours. But yes, you can tell it, we are 100% make in India. It's a plagiarization of Western technologies. Right, sir? Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Ekwa Machineries. There is a small message to everyone. I request every EPC contractor and vendors to please be ready with their presentations and get their laptop fully charged. If you have HDMI port in your laptop, you can come with your laptop. If you don't have HDMI port in your laptop, you can mail us or provide your PPT in the pen drive so we can run in our laptop. And it is a small request that please concise or summarize your PPT in 20 minutes. Try to do it in 15 minutes so that you can take questions in the next 5 minutes. So now we are moving forward. So I request Messrs. Oriental Rubber to please come and present your file. Thank you.
Good morning, respected Director Sir, Vishwas Sir, and all the GM HODs from different subsidiaries of Coal India, and respected delegates. I'm TK Paul from Oriental Rubber Industries Limited. We are the conveyor belt manufacturer with a global presence. So, because of the time slot, I have been given only 15 to 20 minutes to explain the presentation, but it is very difficult to explain the entire conveyor technology and the product what we manufacture in 15 minutes. It takes hours, but for the sake of this scarcity of time, we are concising our presentation to the various salient points only. Let us take a history of Oriental Rubber Industries Limited very briefly. We started our manufacturing activities sometimes in 1949 in Mumbai, and we procured the first simple camp Germany press in India from Germany, and that press is still operative in our plant. So due to expansion problem and land problem, we shifted our total infrastructure to Pune. In early 90s, we started our operation from Pune in the mother plant. Then we started our first export-oriented unit, 100% export-oriented unit, Pune. And we gathered another company at Johannesburg, South Africa. The present we have 3 companies. Now, so far as the product is concerned, we manufacture all the conveyor belts which is used in most of the bulk material handling industry, right from the M24 gate belting to fire retardant, high heat resistant, all the belts are manufacturing with the different specification. See, this is the capacity. Let us take a quick view. We are manufacturing presently around 210 kilometers of belting every month. It includes the steel cord belting and textile, EP and nylon belting. It is customary to say that the cotton-based conveyor belt is obsolete now in a very, very limited place due to its problem in the moisture ingression and the elongation. So we are basically concentrating on the polyester based and the nylon based. If it is a nylon, we are considering as a NN belt. Next. This is a part of the manufacturing machine. This is a simple cam machine wire form it is getting manufactured. Next. See, the stock levels, it is not very relevant in this discussion. So we are maintaining some stocks around 10 to 15 kilometers depending upon the style and the specifications of the belting. Next. What is the innovation part? See, when the conveyor belt was in the industry, it was only M24 gate belting that is used for conveying the general duty material with ambient temperature. But after the years of innovation and technology upgradation, we have developed not only the M24 gate belting from the ambient temperature, but the different grades of the rubber which is used in the fire retardant quality in the power plant, in the high heat resistant quality used in the sinter plant, and the super abrasion grade quality of conveyor belt which is used in the quarries, coal mines, iron mines, and the copper mines. Okay, we'll have some discussion on that at the last part of the discussion. Next. See, we are one of the star export house because we usually export our products. 66% of our production goes to nearly 63 countries of the world, and the rest of the production, it caters the domestic market. But it is not only that we give a high importance to export, it is not that. We have a very, very honored and esteemed end users in India like NTPC, Steel Authority, KIOCL, all the reputed public and PSU, and Tata Steel like JSPL, JSW. You name any good industry, we are there. You name any good companies, we are there. Next. See, apart from the manufacturing of the conveyor belts, we also make a conveyor audits. Suppose we supply certain conveyor belts to your installation, and the belt is installed, and you have some issues, you want to improve the performance category, performance of the conveyor belt installation, you want to enhance the service life of the conveyor belt, we do make the conveyor audit of the particular installation, and we recommend the what type of conveyor belt is to be used later for enhancing the performance of the installation. Next. See, we are enlisted with many certificates, MESHA, SAPS, NABL, we have NABL accredited with ISO 9000 company. It is all the reputed companies they have. This is not a great thing that we have. Most of the reputed companies, they also have it. Next. See, this is the nomenclature of the textile belts. If you kindly look at the specifications of the belt, say this is the first one is the 1600 mm. So first digit is the width of the belt. Next is the EP. This is the polyester type of belting. So in generally we use nylon and EP. So you will have the specifications either EP or the nylon. So for the sake of the tender participation and the tender formation from the CMPDI, I would like to say that whenever you say the NN, you must indicate NN66. So there are different two categories of NN category. One is NN6, another is NN66. So I request to include NN66 always for the conveyor belt requirement, as NN6 is not suitable for conveyor belt. It is used for some other purposes like tire, rubber hose, etc. Okay, let's come to the point. So next, it is 2000 by 5. So what does this 2000 means? 2000 means is the strain rating of the conveyor belt. So this is 2000 kilonewton rating of the belt. It means, suppose this is a piece of conveyor belt. If you apply tensile strength from this side and tensile strength from this side, so the belt will have permanent deformation at 2000 kilonewton. It is not that the belt will get ruptured at 2000, the belt will elongate up to a certain limit. Then if you leave this tension, the belt will not come back to its original presentation. It means the permanent deformation already has taken place in the belt at 2000 kilonewton. So this is the ultimate tensile strength of the belt. But never worry, this 2000, your conveyor installation, suppose you work for 2000 kilonewton, but your conveyor installation will never hit 2000 kilonewton, because when your EPC contractor design the conveyor belt, they generally design the belt at 80% capacity utilization. So if you deduct 2000 from 20% of 2000, it will be 1800. At the factor of safety of 10, then 1800 factor of safety of 1800 by 10, it will be 180. So maximum tensile strength of the conveyor installation, your installation run is maximum 200 kilonewton. Why we give so much? Because to keep the installation free from all defect. Because during the monsoon and when the conveyor should get jammed, it suddenly lands in the conveyor belt and gives it nearly 30% surge in the tensile strain. So to keep the conveyor belt from rupture, we give this higher tensile strain. Now what is the 8 plus 4? 8 is the top cover thickness and 4 is the bottom cover thickness. If you all know what is a conveyor belt is comprising of, sorry, I missed one. What is 5? It means there are 5 plies in it. See, ply is the backbone of the conveyor belt. As we have a backbone, without backbone a person or a living organism cannot live. So 5, there are number of plies is 5. So each ply contributes 400 kilonewton. It comprises 4 plies and it gives a total strength of 2000 kilonewton. These plies are, suppose I'm just giving you some example. Say this is the ply. This is the 3 plies. There are 5 plies. But how these plies are sandwiched together? Because I give you a request. Please give me before 5 minutes. Okay. When the plies are simply placed together, it will not stick to. It is skimmed. Skim means it is a technical term from the conveyor belt industry. It means a thin rubber is placed on the ply. It is placed in a certain machines, in the calendering machines. It gives just like a bread sandwich. We provide a butter in it and place it together so that the two slice of the bread doesn't fall apart. So in this case, the plies are skimmed first and they are first built into the belt building machine to make a carcass. So carcass is passed over the calendering machine once again. Then the 8 mm top rubber cover and 4 mm bottom rubber cover is placed on it to make a green belt. When the green belt is manufactured, it is vulcanized to make a complete vulcanized complete conveyor belt. The parameter of the electricity and the heat is like that way. We give a huge pressure on our machinery, belt building machine, a temperature of approximately 150 degrees centigrade, and time it depends on 3 minute per millimeter of the conveyor belt. So approximately 50 minutes of time it gives a 30 feet of conveyor belt manufacturing. So it is a technical parameter, and it depends. Sometimes if it is a UHR belt, then it takes a much longer time to make the belt. It depends upon the nature and the specifications of the conveyor belt. So now let's come down to the next one, the SAR. This is a super abrasion resistance conveyor belt. It means when you started our conveyor belt technology, I mean not us, the industry, it was the M24 gate of belting used to convey the ambient temperature material. But the M24 grade of belting, it has some shortcoming, that is the abrasion resistance. Generally 150 mm³ is the abrasion resistance of the M24 grade of belting. But we see that the performance of the M24 grade of belting is not very good. So we improved the abrasion resistance to SAR, super abrasion resistant, ultra abrasion resistant. What is the salient feature of this grade of belting is that although the cost implication is 5 to 7% compared to the M24 grade of belting, but if you say the SAR or UHR, the performance life of the belt is enhanced up to 45 to 55%. Gives you a lot of payback. Okay. So now next is ME. So you may find in your tender specification sometimes it is known as a CE or ME. So what is the difference? ME is the molded edge, CE is the cut edge. It means when this is the conveyor belt, if you cut one side of the belt, if you can see the number of plies of 5, you can say this is a cut edge construction because you can see the number of plies in it. But when it is a molded edge, you cannot see. The edge of the conveyor belt is covered with rubber. So there are different reasons for using cut edge and the molded edge. Molded edge is used in the saline temperature, saline water level, and near the seashore where the ingression of the moisture and ingression of the saline water is possible. Okay. So now comes 180 m into 1. What is it? It is means what is the length of the conveyor belt per roll of the per roll. We may have a 450 meter of conveyor belt in one roll, depending upon the installation project details. We have a capacity of 50 tons to leave the belt roll. Next. Mr. Das, next. So this is the steel cord belt configuration. Previously I explained the textile belt. This is a steel cord belt. Steel cord belt you may have. See, gentlemen, so this is a steel cord belting. It means in place of carcass, in place of 5 plies, you have the steel cord inside the conveyor belt. If you cut a conveyor belt, you will not find any fabric in it. You will find a series of rows of steel cord belt in the conveyor belt. The steel cord belt that takes the total tensile strength of the belt. So it is steel cord belt is used generally where the distance of the conveyor belt is beyond kilometers, generally cross-country conveyor belts. Where the elongation is the matter, because so far as the textile belt is concerned, either this is EP or nylon, the elongation is maximum 2.5 to 4%. So if the length of the conveyor belt is 4,000 meter, 4 kilometers, so center distance 4 kilometer, then the total length of the conveyor belt would be 8 kilometer. If you add up 2.5% minimum elongation of 8,000 meter, then there is the total difficulty in take up. Take up will be immense, so it is not possible. So that's the reason a steel cord belt is developed. The elongation percentage of steel cord belt is 15. Elongation percentage of steel cord belting is only 0.3%. Okay, it doesn't grow, the belt doesn't grow, and it is a high tensile strength. It can convey the material at a rate of 8,000 TPH. Okay, this is the latest technology. Let us come back quickly to the specifications of the conveyor belt. We say this is 1600 width. It means width of the conveyor belt is 1600 mm. ST 1000. It means the strength rating of 1000. It means here we have indicated the 1000 kilonewton per width of the conveyor belt, but we can manufacture, we are manufacturing generally 5500 kilonewton up to 7500 kilonewton of steel cord belting. It depends upon the number of cord diameter and the size of the cord. We generally procure conveyor belt from Gustafsson, Usha Martin. Now this is 5 by 5. 5 by 5 is the top rubber cover and bottom rubber cover thickness. Generally, the conventional top rubber cover should be more than 5 millimeter, and the bottom bottom rubber cover should be more than 4 millimeter. So this is the convention. Depends upon the nature of the conveying installation. Now this is a DNEX. So DNEX is the IS standard. Generally the standard relevant standard is 15236 in the IS category. Okay, it governs the specifications of the conveyor belt of steel cord belt and different parameters and testing of the conveyor belt. So now you will find the phi. If phi 2.8 means what is the diameter of the conveyor? Diameter of the cord. If you say this is the cord of the conveyor belt, the diameter of the cord depends upon the tensile string. It is a 2.8 mm diameter cord. Generally, we have a maximum up to 5.75 millimeter diameter for highest strength of conveyor belt. It is not only the diameter of the conveyor belt which increases with the increasing tensile strength of the conveyor belt, it is the number of the cords and the specifications of the cord. Specifications of the cord, here you will find a 7 by 7. So 7 by 7 means when a conveyor cord is manufactured, first a small particular very thin string is manufactured. Sorry, a fiber is manufactured. Then seven fibers are twisted together to form a string. Like that way, the 7 strings are twisted together to form a cord. So 7 by 7 means it has a 49 strings standard together. It is a 7 by 7. You have a 7 by 19 configuration also. We have 7 by 7 plus 1 by 19 also. It depends upon the different category of the conveyor belt selection. N is the number of cords. N is a 54. Here we have designation number of cords is 54, and P is the pitch of the conveyor belt. So each conveyor belt is laid parallelly at the middle of the conveyor belt with a pitch of 14 millimeter, and the covering side is minimum 50 mm. That is the molded edge. And all the steel cut conveyor belt is essentially be molded edge, no cut edge in this case. Okay. Next. See the cross section of the conveyor belt. Okay. So the first one is the textile specification of the conveyor belt is a fabric belt. First one is the top one is the top rubber cover. Is the bottom rubber cover. The fabric is inside the conveyor belt. But the second one is the conveyor belt of the steel cord belting. Steel cords are laid like that way. The parallelity of the conveyor belt is very, very important, because if there is a mismatch of the parallelity of the conveyor belt, the belt will not perform satisfactorily. Because we have witnessed one case study in one of our reputed manufacturers where the conveyor cords are coming out from the conveyor belt because the conveyor cords are not placed as per the norms. It has some overlapping. So placement of the steel cord in the conveyor belt is very, very important. Next. See, if we go for the explaining this manufacturing process, it takes hours. So in a nutshell, we can say what is the manufacturing process is that we procure the synthetic rubber and the natural rubber and the rubber chemicals, process oils, carbon blacks, antioxidant, anti-ozonate, sulfur and many other things together. We mix it in our big bambari machine together to make it dough. Just like when you make a puri, you make a dough, no? So that black mass of rubber is prepared. Then we make a calendering machine to make a seeds. We provide the different fabric layer and make a skimming. Just one more minute. And we make a carcass comprising of the five. Here we have a five. This particular fabric, and we complete it as a vulcanizing to conveyor belt, complete conveyor belt. Okay. Next. The 15 minutes is a very, very limited. It takes hours to explain the conveyor belt totally. Next. Next. We make M24 gate belting, ultra heat resisting belting, UHR belting, fire retardant belting. So far as the Coal India is concerned, if there is a coal conveying, so all the NTPCs are presently taking ISO 340. ISO 340 category of belting is much more superior than CAN CSA, because for CAN CSA belting, the flame extinguishing is at 52 seconds from the fire, whereas the ISO 340 it takes 26 seconds. Most of the NTPCs and the reputed power companies, super thermal power plants, they are using the ISO 340. Next. Das, Mr. Das. Next. See, there is a just a comparison and listing. What is the max seal? It means it is a very interesting thing for Coal India and the mining companies, because when the run of mines coals are coming on the conveyor belts landing, it has a minus 300. There is a seal in it. It ruptures the conveyor belt in that way. Say it is landing on the conveyor belt, it is just one more bit pass. When it is cutting the conveyor belt, conveyor belt goes on, it keeps on cutting the conveyor belt. Ultimately what happened, kilometers of conveyor belt gets into 2 parts. So there is no protection. And the steel cord conveyor belt is more vulnerable to this cutting because they don't have any cross longitudinal member. So that is, we say